Hello. How you doing? Uh, Just give me a moment. Finishing some stuff over here. And you're done. You're done. And finally, you. My mouse feels weird today. Hmm. Interestingly enough, it's only on this screen and not this one. Huh. That's odd. That's odd. All right. YouTube looks good. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot. Streamer bot. Very important. Hmm. Oh, YouTube, why? Why are you going to make me log in again? Don't you know who I am? Okay, we're good. All right. Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to wrap up the gas mileage app. The last thing I needed to do, that's Friday, was it? Today's what, Wednesday? Jesus. Week is going, no, today's not Wednesday. Today's Monday. I don't know anymore. Everything's a blur. So yeah, I didn't stream on Friday. That's what got me confused. So that's Wednesday. I ended up with a little bit of a problem with the CSS and the alignment of the dashboard cards for the mileage app. Finally got that figured out. Turns out it was a combination of Google Chrome being a bitch and me being a dumbass. Perfect combo, right? There was something weird with the mobile. When you go into mobile view on Google Chrome, for some reason, when it refreshed the view after making changes and the thing was just growing and overflowing to the right, even if I fixed it, it was still like overflowing. I literally took the dashboard view and revert that to the default setting, like the default dashboard that comes with the Laravel starter kit. Like nothing changed. Like took it back to the beginning. Still was like overflowing a little bit to the right. I had to close the mobile view, close the tab, open a new tab, go back into mobile view, and it was fixed. Don't ask me why. And after that, I managed to get all the cards with the right sizing and stack them vertically, and it looks decent now. Let me show you actually. Whoop. What do you mean no signal? Come on. So yeah, it looks like this now. And if I look at it in desktop view, it looks like that. Make it small, make it small, make it small, and at some point it just stacks vertically. And basically what I did was, let me make this bigger. I don't think this changed at all, this parent. What did change is I had this flex div and the contents, basically duplicating that for every single card, but that was dumb. So I took, wait, was that the thing? Yeah, I think I was duplicating this div and this div for every single card. I had to move this div into this parent one, and that helped. And the last thing I did was I added flex 1 to each card, so that they grow they take up the same amount of space basically on the parent div. In the parent div, I added this flex call by default that makes it stack vertically, but that's only for the mobile view, for mobile sizes. From SM or small, from SM and up, which means on small screens and up, I make it flex row so that they stack horizontally. And that was pretty much it. Now it looks like this. So I guess today the only thing that is missing, I think it was one more information card, if I'm not mistaken, was the average cost per gallon or per liter. I'm gonna bring it up because I don't remember.
The stream is now paused for ads.
While we're in ads. Yeah, it's cost per mile. So it's that. We also need to add the vehicle selector at the top. I'm gonna wait for the ads actually. 15 seconds. All right, ads are over. So we need to add the vehicle selector. We need to add this last card for which is the cost per mile. And finally add links everywhere. We need a button in the dashboard to create a new fuel entry. This view all entries, and that's going to be on the side menu on the sidebar. Is same with the manage vehicles. So I'm just going to add one big button at the bottom of the cards to create a new fuel entry. I don't know how that's going to look on desktop, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's figure out cost per mile. So this is, if I'm not mistaken, it's just dividing the total cost by the total distance, right? And that's just how many dollars each distance unit costs. So we don't really need to make any calculations here depending on the distance units of the user. It's just displaying the distance, the cost per, and then distance units here, because the application actually gives me the total distance on whatever distance units the user has selected. So if I go here and go to settings and it's not working, why? Oh, it's loading. Looks like I lost my authorization token. Can you refresh? Like, what is going on here? Settings. Hey, okay. Yeah, if you go to units and switch to miles and then head back to the dashboard, now the total distance is in miles. So either way, you're going to get the cost per kilometer or cost per mile. Yeah, dividing this by 100 or dividing this by whatever equivalent it is in kilometers. So we can make that on the fly. Sorry, sleepy. All right, let's add that stat to the dashboard real quick. Shouldn't be too difficult. In fact, we can use already the stats that we already have. So we have the total distance here, we have the total cost. Let's try and just grab this. Yoink. Paste it here. We can do the cost. How do you want me to look? Cost divided by mile. Cost divided by, and we can do str to upper. Same thing I did here, so that everything is in capital, everything is capitalized. And we do, no, not that. Auth user distance units. And here we can just do total cost divided by stat total. Are we back? Lost connection there for a second. That was weird. Weird and stupid. What did you lose connection? That was stupid. Alright. I think we're good. Now it's okay. Thank you very much. Hey, hi there. How you doing? Yeah, it was weird. Like, Everything disconnected like for a second. OBS, please. OBS, please. Be cool. Be cool. Yeah, so number format, this division. Let's make this 2 decimal points. And let's see how that looks. It looks like that. Oh, it can't do that because total cost, I'm formatting that as a currency. Let me go and fix that. I'm doing that in the component. I should do that in the template instead. So that is dashboard component. Let's remove this. Where is the currency? There, this one. Remove it from there. Let's add it here. Ooh, that wasn't the wrong. There you go. That's better. Nice. Well, kind of nice. What the heck is this? Oh, I'm dumb. You have to escape this part here. There you go. So yeah, it's 55 divided by 100. And if I change that back to kilometers in my distance units, and then head back to dashboard again, now it's 0.34, which is 55 divided by 160.93. All right, that was easy. That was easy. Let's work on the vehicle selector. That's going to be tricky. Let me see. We need that in the URL. We need that to be a live updating drop down. We need all the vehicles with the nicknames. All right. Back to, we're going to do this in the dashboard component. For this, we're going to need, where am I using a vehicle selector? There is another place where I'm using a vehicle selector. It's in field entries, isn't it? Am I not using this in field entries? I'm actually not. I'm supposed to, but it's okay. All right. But I do have a property, I think. Don't I? I don't. Well, I do. It's just a implicit model binding via URL. Okay. Never mind. I'm going to need a public. Trying to figure out how to do this. My first instinct is to make a public int vehicle ID like that. This should be nullable. And then add a property here and make this part of the URL. And then in the mount, I can just... No, it shouldn't be in mount, by the way. All of this should be in render. Now that if I'm going to put the vehicle ID in a selector that changes the URL, and then I have to move this to the render method, because then I have to do a vehicle find by that URL parameter. The mount only runs once when you mount the component, not when you re-render it. Trying to figure out if that's gonna be a problem. I guess not. Every time you change vehicle, you basically have to gather all of the stats for that vehicle. So yeah. Let's move this to render. And then let's do vehicle find this vehicle ID. I'm guessing it's going to complain because it is null by default. Yeah. So it basically gives us null. But if I do this, vehicle ID equals 1, now it works. And now that's going to stay there. And that value actually gets mapped into the component's attribute, vehicle ID. Maybe I should give it a different name. Could be. I mean, for aesthetic purposes, but for now it works. Which means I don't need a mount anymore. Okay, so now we can... Let's add a drop down up there. Tempted to use... Have a drop down input from the starter kit. Oh, it's failing again. Why are you doing this to me? All right. No. Oh my God, it's going up and down like crazy. Now it's nothing. What are you doing? Okay, OBS is just being weird. Oh my god, it had like
The stream is now paused for ads.
Sure, why not? It had like literally a stroke. OBS. It was like 0 kilobits, 10,000, 6,000, 15,000. It was like, make up your mind. Which one is it? I'm on to you. I'm on to you. One moment. Let me check something. Just make sure that everything looks okay. Everything's good here, and Twitch looks fine. All right, cool. I'm gonna keep an eye on OBS the whole time. Because apparently it's one of those days. So, what was I saying? Nothing. We're waiting for the ads, and the ads are gone. I said the ads are gone. Okay. I was looking for a drop-down component. Maybe there is one from Flux. Are you going to turn this project into a native PHP mobile app? I want to. I'm just waiting on... I want to wait until... What was I waiting for? I do have a camera. Yeah, no, the short answer is yes. I do want to add one other feature to this app, which is I want to be able to take a picture and grab the details of the fuel entry out of a receipt from a gas station. The total cost, the fuel, the total cost, the total fuel, etc. So I did a small test of that using, what was it that I use? I think it was Gemini API. But yeah, basically I did a test. I could do it. I can do it with just sending that picture over to, I don't remember if it was, yeah, it was Gemini, definitely. It wasn't OpenAI. But I can extract the details of the fuel entry out of a picture, and I want to add that to an actual mobile app at some point. It's not going to be right after. I have a couple of other things that I want to do first, which is on Wednesday, I am going to make a switch of IDEs. I am finally going to jump into the PHP Storm train, finally, and I'm going to spend that live session setting up my IDE the right way, which is the Jeffrey's way. I'm gonna use Jeffrey Way's series from Laracast to guide me through that process. And on Friday, I want to give Filament version 4 a try. Finally see what's new in the new version 4. So maybe on Monday we can try native PHP again, or we can start a new project using Filament. Either or. But at some point I'm going to turn this into a native app for sure. What do we have on Flux? Icon nav list, is that it? Really? Vendor. Is it in Livewire? Yeah, Flux. Oh, I am using Flux Pro on this one. Oh yeah, it was okay. I remember now. It was the recipe search that I decided not to use Flux Pro, but this one I am using. So let me go and find the documentation for the dropdown and just put one in this page. No, it's not dropdown. It's select. There you go. All right, so this flex container I guess I should put it in a new one. Let's try this. How does that look? Not bad at all. How about on mobile? A little bad. Not too bad. I guess we could just restrict the length of this to guess M and up, max with LG. And maybe no, wait. My idea is, hold on. I want this to be all the way to the right when on desktop. So take that over here. Although that's not high priority, as long as it is not full extending to the full length, that's fine. That's fine. Let's not be too particular about it. All right, let's fill this with all of the vehicles. We're gonna wire model this to... we can just wire model it to vehicle ID actually. So it will change the URL parameter as well. We are going to go through all of the vehicles. So let's do or the can we do something like auth vehicles? User vehicles as vehicle. Do we have that relationship? We'll find out in just a second. I have the feeling that we do, but I might be wrong. In any case, so the option, we're gonna give this a value of, ooh, do I need to give this a value? I think so. That it's a for each, not for. Is it not vehicle name? All right. First of all, user. We do have a vehicles. And there seems to be an option there. I'm reaching for probably the wrong column. Of course I am. Make, model, nickname. Wait, name? Really? So there's one other place where I'm putting that information in a template, which is in the field entries blade.php. Just gonna grab all of this, double yoink, back to the dashboard, and I'm gonna put it in its own line so it's visible. There it is. There it is. We need a different vehicle now. Do we have a create vehicles page? Oh no, I don't think we do we? Maybe we do. Vehicles, yeah, we do. Vehicles create. I don't know. Um, 120,000 maybe. This one, let's keep it in miles. All right, we have 2 vehicles. Let's go back to the dashboard. What happens if there are no entries, no field entries for that vehicle? And also, what happens if there is no vehicle ID at the top? Hmm. Well, I guess one option would be if, hold on. Bruh, come on. All right, now we have no keys. So that means that the stat is an empty array. For now, let's just go to the dashboard and will that work? Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna hide it. Just gonna, unless you, well, that's selected. Is it because there is no, yeah, there is no empty option. Hold up. Hold up. I need an empty option. Oh, has to be outside. There. Or not. What? Didn't re-render. It didn't re-render. It's because this is not live. So we need to put this select as wire model dot live. Now it works. But what if we don't have anything? That means this returns a vehicle, but there is no fuel entries. So we can add another check here. We know not only why? Where is my ampersand? Is it here? No. Where's my ampersand? There. Is it in 7? Yeah. New keyboard, sorry. Vehicle and vehicle few entries. No, that did not work. Yeah, because this is a collection. Okay. So if there are no fuel entries, then we don't have stats. Only if we do have fuel entries, then we have stats. And the property stays in the URL and persists on refresh. Page refresh. All right, cool. That didn't work. Why? 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 Why didn't you? Why? Why did you? Oh my god, what are you doing? You work this way around, but not this way around? Why? Hmm. It's strange. Okay, so it's refreshing the value of vehicle ID. It's re-rendering the page. It's not going into this if statement because we can't find few entries count, although we do have a vehicle every time. But why is the dashboard not refreshing? It's because I'm not resetting the stat array. That's what's happening. So when this happens, I need to go down here and do an else. And do this stat equals empty array. Now I choose this one, refresh. I choose this one, goes away. Okay, that was it. It was persisting the stat from the previous vehicle. You need to reset the variable. Okay, cool. I guess all that it's left is linking everywhere. Let's start with a big button down here for new fuel efficiency. Feel like LG is gonna be too big, but let's see. And it's gonna be primary. Let's change to new fuel entry. You have to extend. Maybe it's flux. Sizes, full width, there it is. Class W full. And how about this? That is too big for my liking. You know what I should do? Should center those two. I think that'll be better. How would that look? So this, it'll be in this div. Width full, age full. It is flex, flex call. Align item center. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay. Not mad. Very mad. Shit.
The stream is now paused for ads.
Hmm.
Green 333221 just followed. You're amazing.
Thank you, Green 333221. Thank you for the follow. You're amazing, dude. I guess, what if I do flex 1 on this one so it grows? It makes no difference whatsoever. Cool. I guess let's just not do it item center then. I'm okay with that. But you I want in the center. At least. Or we can center this. Let me check something real quick. Yeah, I can send this div. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do flex. And then item center. That's over. And that did nothing. Maybe justify center. Nope. Yeah, oh, it's because, okay. With full? No. Son of a bitch. Of course, this contradicts this one. So I could instead go here and do class SM max with LG. Hey, 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 hey. Now let's do the same on this one, which would be this guy over here would be, let me just grab this and do flex with full, justify center, and then can be with full by default, the button, and SM and up would be max with LG. Nope. Oh, look at that. And then on mobile, looks like this. Desktop looks like that. We could always try and do a grid for this so that it looks more like the mockup, where with 2 columns for each, and then the last column will be, you know, so it looks more like this. Did I close it? No, it's this. you know, make it look more like this layout here. We could, but then again, we have to break everything and put it back together, so I don't really want to do that right now. Maybe that could be a homework for you. Try and make it look like the mock-up using a grid. All right, let's wire this button. And can we make it capitalized? Wasn't there a Tailwind CSS class that would make all the letters capital? Yeah, class uppercase. Okay, now let's wire up the button. This should actually be a link, now that I think about it. As a link. Oh, just give a... Oh, I love Flux. I love Flux UI. Look at that. Everything is so easy. To make a button a link, you just set href to something, and that's it. Caleb, you are a genius. Now the href will be route. We're gonna send this to... I don't remember the route name. View entries.index. But we need to pass the vehicle ID in that route. It's actually viewindex.create. And we're going to pass vehicle. Is it vehicle? Yeah, vehicle. And we just pass vehicle ID, like so. Yeah, it is now an href to gas tracker test view entries 1, which is the vehicle ID, and then create. And that takes us to here. Nice. Now, when we're here, we need a way to go back. Or at least to cancel. We need a cancel button here. This should be a primary. Yeah. Let's make some changes to that. Let's go to fuel entry form. The button is not here. That'll be in fuel entries. Fuel entry, actually. Fuel entry. Create fuel entry. Now let's yoink and paste this one. And this is not gonna be a submit. This is going to be an href equals. We're going to send this to the list of fuel entries. We can say another route, fuel entries, index, and then pass the vehicle. And we already have a vehicle variable in this component. We just need to pass the ID. How's that? Oh my god, why are you being dumb? Fine. This is not a variant. And this is what other variants do we have? Variants. Yeah, just default. So no variant. All right. So if I hit cancel, now I'm here, still have the vehicle in the URL. Awesome. And I can still go back to the dashboard. And I'm okay. Problem. We are not persisting the persisting the vehicle ID in the sidebar navigation. That's going to be interesting. We're going to do this. Also, I said this is quite interesting where the error is happening. Missing parameter for route fuel entries create. Oh yeah, because I have a route in the dashboard. Damn it. All right, that fixed one of the problems. The only thing is that if you move from I still don't know how. If you select a vehicle, try to create a few entry, cancel that. Now you're in the list. But if you yeah, you're still using vehicle number 1. But if you move to the dashboard, you lose that. How do I share the vehicle ID from that component to the sidebar so that sidebar can update the URL? I could use a session property. Let me read about this. Livewire makes it easy to persist property values across page refresh changes using the hashtag session attribute. By adding the session attribute property to your component, Livewire will store that property's value in the session every time it changes. This way, when the page is refreshed, Livewire will fetch the latest value from the session and use it in your component. I think that the session attribute is analogous to the URL attribute. They are both useful in similar scenarios. The primary difference is that session persists the values without modifying the URL string, the URL's query string, which is sometimes desired, sometimes it's not. I guess I'm fine with not having the value in the URL in the first place. It's kind of weird that some places have it or as a URL as a URI parameter instead of a query string. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have it on session. Let's see if I can do that. In that way, I can go into the sidebar component and just use the session helper. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, back to the dashboard. And instead of using URL, let's use session. So what would be the key? Same, vehicle ID. I guess if you don't pass a key, it'll be the name of the variable, right? I'm assuming that's the case. Since we're not using URL, let's remove that import. Make sure that it's still working. It is. Okay. If I choose this one and then new field entry, we still have it on the URL. If we click cancel, we still have it there. And now we just have to have it in this link. So for that, I'm going to head over to resources, views, components, layouts, app, sidebar. And wait, I don't need to. It's in the session. It's in the session. I don't need to... Okay, yeah. Still in the session. If I choose this one, I don't have a new field entry button though. Yeah, you can't... No, you do. You... Wait. Okay. I need that button again. Where are we? Let's go to dashboard. Head over here. No, the template. Sub dashboard. There you go. I need this button down here. Because now the vehicle ID, it's in session, so I'm not gonna lose it anywhere. And now I can actually create a new field entry for the vehicle that doesn't have any. And it's right there, number two. If I cancel, I'm still here, no field entries. I go to dashboard. Yeah, session for the win. There you go. Let's add a link to manage. Let's add a link to the list of field entries here and also to the list of vehicles. And I think that'll be it. I think there's one more link, but let's take care of this one for sidebar. We have dashboard. Where do we have dashboard? Here. No, not that. Nav group item. Do I have an icon for this? I believe that it is using hero icons. What can we use? We can have more icons. We acknowledge that it is fairly limited icon. It is a fairly limited icon set. If you need more icons, we recommend using Lucid, which has a bunch more. And we have a little car. Yeah, we need this set of icons. How do we? So this to make it trivial to use Lucid icons, Flux provides a convenient artisan command to import them into your project. Okay. Let's copy this And let's head over to here. Oh, I can just import the one icon that I need. That's so cool. Okay, so which one was it? If I could go back, it's this one. It's just car. Oh my god. Here, please. Mm-hmm. Yes, I want one for fuel entries, so yes. Let's see if we can find one. Is there something fuel real? Yes. There you go. Fuel. Love it. Fuel. So if no, that's it. Thank you very much. If I'm not mistaken, then I can just say instead of home, we can use car, and the route is vehicles index. Now, if the current request route is vehicles index, and then wire navigate vehicles. There you go. And it's highlighted. Perfect. Terrific. Let's add one more. In this case, it's going to be oh god. What did I do? What happened? What happened? CM Griffin just rated with 37 viewers. How you doing, man? Hope you had a great stream today. Give me 1 second. Yo, how you doing? Oh my god. Everything is broken.
RPALM Pinoy just followed. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for the follow, dude. I have to automate this. I wanted to do that and it took me so long. Thank you so much for the raid, CM Griffin. Raiders, welcome. It's Arturo. I'm a PHP developer from Costa Rica. I like creating small projects live so that I can show off the capabilities and
Macanalu just followed. You're amazing.
what Laravel can do. I also play video games after the coding section. So if you want to hang out and stay for the game section, you're more than welcome. Welcome. You're welcome for the rage. No. Only happiness here. How was your stream? What did you do today? Stripe BS. Ooh.
Owen Codes just followed. You're amazing.
Thank you so much for the follow. RPLM Pinoy, thank you for the follow. Macanalu and Own Codes. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. We are wrapping up the project actually. Right now it's looking like this. I need to go back to my. Right now, I'm just wrapping up a fuel efficiency app that I was working on for the past few weeks. Stripe BS for my micro app. Yeah, go
The
ahead.
stream is now paused for ads.
We're gonna go into ads. We'll be right back. I always pause for ads, so don't worry. And lurk away if you want. No problem. So I was saying, I've been working on this project for the last few weeks. We're just wrapping up all of the links and everything else, just tidying things up because on Wednesday, I am going to change IDEs. I'm going to jump into PHP Storm. Been on the fence for a while, so I'm gonna make the jump on Wednesday, and on Friday we're going to try out the new version of Filament version 4, which is in beta, stable beta right now. And probably on Monday we're going to start with a new project. Yeah. Cool beans. And once we wrap things up here, we're gonna play Doom Awakening. Just waiting on the ads. All right, ads are over. Welcome back. All right, so what else do we need here? Let me check. So we have the new oh yeah, I was doing the fuel thingy. So we need a did I delete that somehow? Maybe. Yoink, paste. This will be the fuel icon that we just imported. The route is vehicles. No, change to fuel entries. Okay, we are going to have a problem with this one, and I'll show you why. I need to pass a parameter here. So I need to reach for the session. The parameter is called vehicle. And I think I can just do session get. Vehicle, did I say vehicle ID? Yeah, vehicle ID. Let's see if that works. And this goes to, let's highlight it as the current if the route is... Hey Shay, how you doing? It's like we say native PHP and you manifest into the chat. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing great. Great job on the gallery thing that you just implemented. That looks amazing. And did I just hear correctly? And you had no idea, actually? It's subconscious. It's like you feel summoned. Yeah, I was just saying that this app that I'm just creating, I'm just wrapping up. And I just broke. Hold on. It's a fuel tracker. I want to port that into native PHP, and I'll do that once I completed another set of things that I want to do, because I want to use the camera of the phone. So yeah, that was the mention, native PHP mention in chat. Oh, and congratulations on having the kitchen sink app approved. Is there so that means if the app is approved now, is it approved now? And if it is, do we have access to the GitHub repo? Yeah, the camera worked, yeah. But I once, the thing is I haven't had time to, I did a test with the camera, taking a picture of a receipt, a mock receipt, and extracting the information of the fuel entry for the gas mileage app out of that picture using AI. I did a test and that worked. I need to put that into the current app at some point in the near future. The kitchen sink has been around for a while. I just added a ton of stuff for version 1. Should hit this week. Right, but the repo that I've seen for the kitchen sink app is for the desktop version. Am I wrong? Oh, the repo will not be open source, at least for a while. Okay, got it. That's what I wanted to know. Sweet. It's just another thing to have to maintain. Yeah, totally makes sense. Oh, the dogs are getting a huge overhaul? Nice. I need to go back in there. Haven't been there in a few weeks. Excited for the new changes. Ooh, 12 hours on documentation. I am so sorry. With Claude Code, it's Claude. I haven't tried. Is Claude Code the terminal assistant? Is that the one? I haven't tried it. I mainly just use Gemini. Haven't tried the all of those. It's fire. Ooh, now I have to try it though. Okay. After I try Filament version 4, so first, after I wrap this up on Wednesday, I'm gonna jump into, I'm finally gonna change my IDE to PHP Storm. I'm gonna do it. I decided I'm gonna do it, finally. And then I'm gonna try Filament version 4 on Friday. Then on Monday, I'm gonna go and try. I'm gonna give Claude Code a try as well. Now I'm curious. I pay $200 a month and get a senior developer on all of my projects. Nice. $200 a month. Is that? Plus it has GitHub app that you install on your repo and it will give you crazy good reviews on your PR. Or mention Claude on any issue and it'll create a branch and do the work. That's a lot of things, dude. You have like 3 personal assistants. All wrapped up in one. $200 a month. That's for the what's the pricing on that? Oh, you pay for Max, of course. Of course. No, and it is worth it for all the things that you're getting out of it. Of course, it is worth it. Better than, yeah. Yeah, of course. I am gonna give it a try, yeah. $17 per month with annual subscription discount, bill upfront, $20, so $20 monthly, not 17. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel Gemini and subscribe to this for a month and see how it works. I think the cool new things for version 1.1 location finally. Really? You add in GPS? Gallery Picker, splash screen. Ooh, dude, you guys are cooking. Sorry. You guys are putting a ton of stuff in that. Secure storage as well? Damn! Damn! Congratulations, dude. Only great things for native PHP and for PHP developers in general. Congrats, dude. Congrats. You have an article on Laravel News soon. I'll be paying attention. I'm guessing you're gonna shout that out on your Twitter and on your Discord. I mostly get my updates from the Discord. Okay, yeah. Cool. In fact, let me just, now that we have you here, if you guys want to follow PHP, native PHP Discord, hold on. I think you are a mod, but if not, can you post a link to, one sec. Let me make you a mod. How do I make you a mod? Oh my god, how? Oh, I know. No. Don't say that. That's a good. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Oh, there it is. You already have access. So yeah, everyone, if you want to follow and get updates about native PHP, which is a very cool project where you can use just PHP to create native apps for iOS and Android, follow for updates on the Discord server, and you also follow Shane for more updates and cool new features. Instead of system camera, it'll be camera get photo. Nice. That's a lot more verbose, to be honest. I like it. So yeah. Cool things coming up. Are you still broken? Why? I guess session did not give me anything. I'll hang out here for a few if anyone has any questions. Of course. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone, if you're a PHP developer and if you have questions, don't hesitate to hit Shane here in chat or in the Discord server. It has a very active community there and they answer your questions promptly and accurately. So yeah, thank you so much, Shane, for being here and for supporting my channel as well. Vehicles index. So few entries index is missing something. Okay. Yeah, guess this didn't work. Session did not work. Oh, it's like this now? Okay. Nope. Hmm. Let me think. Let me think. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Let me remove that for now. Think about how I'm going to do this. Hmm. Is it not there even? Where can I put it so I can see it? I did call it vehicle ID and it's supposed to be in session. Hmm. Okay, let me think. I wonder if there's a way for me to share the components property up to the layout. Is there a way? Or can I just use it? Dashboard, sidebar. No. Bummer. I don't know how to. This sucks. This sucks. There's gotta be a way. So I have an interesting problem here. In fact, let me just remove this link temporarily. So I have this view here, right? I have a selector here for basically selecting a car, and from that car I have several stats for fuel efficiency, etc. Or what I'm doing is on my livewire component, I'm wiring this to the dashboard component, and that property, I'm putting that in session so that when I go away and then come back to that page, the vehicle ID property will always have that set. Now, the problem is that when I go to, let's say, fuel entry, that takes me here. This here, because the button is within the component, I can reach for the property vehicle ID and put that in the route URL so that I can create a field entry for that vehicle ID number 1. And if I cancel out of that, then I'm in the field entries, and because the ID is still there, I know which vehicle we're talking about. And then if I go back to dashboard, I don't have to put the vehicle ID in the link for the dashboard, because when I get there, the component dashboard has that in session. So the property is restored. My problem is now I need a new link here for the fuel entries. I need to put that URL in a link in the sidebar. I just don't know how to reach for that property value, the vehicle ID, which is supposed to be in session, but using the session helper is not working. So I'm trying to figure out if there is a way for me to share the property value from a component up to the layout that that component is using, basically. Okay, maybe I was doing it wrong. Okay, let me try that. Sidebar. Let me escape. So I would, okay. So it's session get vehicle ID. See, it's missing. It doesn't seem to recognize that. Just delete it so you can see what it is. Okay, one sec. You don't need to sell me on it, I know. Why can't you pull it from the session? I don't know. That's why I'm confused. I thought I could, but when I'm in dashboard, is this failing because of the... Well, hold on a second. Maybe I can look at this better. Yeah, it's failing on the nav item URL. So this is not really doing anything. So I'm going to try and DD this. I'm actually going to... Where do I do it? Can I do it here? In fact, I'm going to do it in dashboard. Anywhere really? Yeah, I'm going to do it here. Get vehicle ID. Do we redirect to get the session back? I don't know if that... I don't follow that logic. It's no. Why is it no? Is it doing a flash? All right, one moment. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna give it a key. Session is weird? Yeah. Preach vehicle ID. Still no. It won't read it until refresh. Yeah, I'm refreshing, but nothing. All right, I'm gonna try something. Go back to the sidebar. Momentarily remove this. Why are you breaking now? Oh my god. Default session is file system. Is it? It is? Well, I don't like that. It is database. It says it's database. I think I changed that to database at some point. So it's not file system. At least not now. And I just broke that for some reason. Go back to dashboard. Let's undo that. And let's remove this DD. What? All right, we're back to working. Find the data in the database, SQLite. Yeah, I could. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't remember if I have. Do I have SQL? Hold on. That will take me into a. Okay, we're on ads. We're gonna take a break. Let's think about this.
The stream is now paused for ads.
Problem is that if I go into that tangent, of trying to find it in session in a table. I don't know. I feel like we're chasing something that it's not really that important right now. I could get away with not having that link for now. Let me think. So it's supposed to be there. Can I do the session all? Could have expired. Could have. But no, it's just not storing it. See? It's the key is there, but the value is null. Yeah, I did session all. This is what I get. It even has the other key that I tried to set somehow. Because it's saved and then reload. This is the key that I'm looking for. But it's not storing the value and I don't like it. Yeah, it doesn't store it, but I'm not the one storing it. Supposedly, if you put this in session, in fact, let's try something just for shits and giggles. I'm going to give it a default value of 1. This is wired to a drop down in the dashboard. The dashboard template. It's not even putting it in the session, even if I give it a default value. Wait, no, don't do that. Just comment that for now. So I refresh. It's selecting the number 1 because it's wired. Change it to number 2. Now it should be in session. This is the thing that is changing though. What the heck is this? Wait a goddamn second. Change it to 1. DD again. It's changing this. What the heck is that key for? Where did... So that key right there has the value for the ID that I'm looking for. Not this one. Isn't that interesting? Is it possible that Livewire it's using its own key to store the value and only Livewire knows how to retrieve it in a component context and I just can't do it outside of it? Yeah, I'm just using the Livewire session thingy. I know, right? Let's try this then. What if I set it myself with a key? I did check the docs actually, but it doesn't mention, it just says that it is the same as using URL, The difference is that it doesn't modify the URL string. What if I do session? I believe if you do an array, right? How do you write to it? Boy, it's been a while since I used session. Hey, how you doing, TL? Talented. Session set. Okay, thanks. Oh no, it's session put, actually. Talented. How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. You may set values by passing an array of key value pairs. Let's use this instead. So instead of, let's just use vehicle ID and set it to, once you render, to this vehicle ID. And let's DD sessional. Before I do that, let me, no, actually, let's keep it like that. See what happens. Now that I have the value, let me just, I'm gonna remove that DD from there, head back to the sidebar, add the link again with the get, refresh, it doesn't break, we have few entries, the link works. That is the vehicle number 1. Let's go back to dashboard. I need to remove that. Let's set it to the other car. Few entries. It didn't change. Still on 1. Why? All right, now I've had problems with the rendering. Hold on. I'm close. Let me remove that. Hey, Ahmad, Rio, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. How you doing? So this didn't change the value. Okay, that's, I know why. No, wait. See the link down there? Few entries, 2. Now it changed it. Let's go back to dashboard. Change it to 1. It didn't change on the sidebar because it is only refreshing the component and not the sidebar. It's only re-rendering on this over there. Okay, new problem then. We just learned, thank you. Awesome. Yeah, almost there. Problem is, this is wired to a property that is re-rendering the component itself, but it does not take into account the sidebar. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I want to do the I don't think I want to re-render, because that'll be a full page re-render. Kind of go against the whole Livewire thing. I think what I want to do instead is in the view entries component, this is what events are for. Yeah, but the sidebar is not a Livewire component, so I can't really wire an event to a sidebar blade component. This is what I want to do. This is what makes sense, makes the most sense. In the view entries, I'm receiving the vehicle ID as a URL parameter. Let's make it optional. If I don't get it, try and get it from the session instead. How about that? So, first of all, let's go to web.php. View entries vehicle. If I'm not mistaken, you can just say that. That'll make it optional, right? Why are you complaining? Or is it at the end? You probably don't want to reach for a session, to be honest. Well, if it's not the session though, then it'll be a query string parameter. I just need the field entries page to be able to render without, or link to it without passing the URL parameter. My guess is that these entries will actually probably live in API backend if this is going to be a mobile app, right? You want the ID just stored in the URL as a UUID. If it's going to be a mobile app, I'll just take the Livewire code. Is Livewire not playing well? Mobile is a different mindset. Yeah, you're probably right. You basically never store stuff in sessions. Yeah, I'm finding it a little bit troublesome, to be honest. At least for this link. I know it's kind of counterintuitive to reach for sessions everywhere. And I know it's going to be a different mindset when we get to native PHP. I just want to make it work for now, and I can, once we get to the mobile app part, I'll probably just have to rework the whole thing. Laravel doesn't either. For example, in their auth packages, they use current team ID in the database instead of sessions. All right. Yeah, I'll probably end up reworking the session thing. I just want it to work for now, even though if it is in sessions. Okay, it's just at the end. I don't know, why are you complaining? I just want to see if this works. I know it's ugly, and as I'm typing it, I'm feeling the ick. I just want to see if it works. Well, not really. I'm just using the vehicle from here and setting it to something. If it comes out empty from the route, I'm setting it to whatever comes out of this vine, and then it sets it to this. Yeah. Okay, no problem. If you can blindly check for session car it and even hide the link if none set. What? Wirepole? I don't think that would work either. I mean, wirepole, yes, but wirepole will still just re-render my component. Yeah, it's not gonna do anything on the sidebar. Here, I'm gonna do this. Now that I'm reaching for the session on that side, I can go back to here. Let's go to the sidebar and not pass the parameter. So it'll be default. Make it reach for the session. All right, still not breaking. It's supposed to be number 2. If I go there now, there are no view entries. Okay, go back to dashboard, set it to number 1. This one does have view entries, and it didn't work. Awesome. Shit. Let me DD. Let's DD the thing. Hey, Transcode, how you doing? Thank you for being here, man. So nice to see you. It's a null model. Yeah, it works on the URL link, but it only works with the previous value. If I change the value in the drop down in the dashboard, the URL does not update. And that's my problem right now. Because the drop down is wired to a property on the component, but the dashboard, but the link on the sidebar does not know about the re-render every time I change the value. It is set to 1. What the crap? I don't think when the property changes, what I'm doing is re-render the stats for the vehicle. So redirecting is not really the intended behavior. Cooking one burger at a time? Yeah. So yeah, every time I change this, what I'm doing is just loading the stats for that vehicle. Just don't touch session. Yeah. You disagree with the UX? Yeah, maybe there is a fundamental problem with the UX in general. Tell you what, nobody likes the session thing, so I'm just going to not have that link in the sidebar for now. We'll get back to it when we do the app. So if entries belong to a single vehicle, then the link to the entries should be inside the vehicle sort of page, the vehicle sort of page. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. So I have a vehicles page here. So within this, there should be, if I click on this or click on something to view the stats, that'll be the stats for that vehicle, and I cannot change that within there. But it should be within the vehicle section, like fuel, see efficiency for that vehicle only. Or you put the vehicle select, okay, that's not a bad idea. I will have to turn this into a component though. Maybe we can spend another session just fixing the UI a bit. I like the idea of putting the select in the sidebar instead of the component. Or you put the vehicle select drop down in the sidebar, or when you click on the vehicle, that's when you show the entries. Several ways we can do this, yeah. Maybe we can spend, okay. we're gonna kick things off a little bit more because I see that there are problems with this UI, and I'm going to think about the options that I have right now and spend another hour or so just trying to make it make sense UI wise. Because yeah, it functions, it has the functionality. It's just the UI, I think it's poorly structured. So yeah. Thank you so much, Shane. Thank you for being here. Catch you on the drop. Have a good day. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just pause here. We have a couple of links. The one link that didn't work, I'm just going to remove for now. As of now, we can create vehicles, we can edit vehicles, we have a dashboard that has stats for each vehicle. We just have to rearrange things so that we don't have to reach for the session in any capacity. Maybe we'll turn the sidebar into a component on its own, have a drop down there, have the stats of the vehicle on a separate page where you click on a vehicle and you see the stats and you can add entries to it. Different options. I'm gonna think on it and come up with a good option. I do want to switch IDEs. Sorry, I do want to switch to PHP Storm on Wednesday. So maybe let's go back to this on Friday. Let's touch base again on Friday, and we'll leave Filament version 4 for Monday. I'm using Pro for this one. Yeah. I don't think I'm using anything paid though. No paid components. But I am using the paid version. I don't know what word was that, and I don't know why it was hailed. Let me check. I don't know. It's just for, it's the link, Flux UI docs. I see. Yeah, you can really post links for the vehicles page. Is that like an example? It's like, is it the dashboard? Let me check. I think I've seen that. Is it this? Charts, spark lines. Oh, docs, charts. Yeah, I kind of like that. We can put an average, either the cost per gallon on a trend line, or the average efficiency, maybe. Yeah, it looks good. I liked it. I like that little trend line. Yeah. All right. Let's stop here. We'll reconvene again on Friday and rearrange the UI so it makes a lot more sense. All right, over on YouTube, if you are on YouTube, I'm gonna stop the stream here. I don't want to mix content on YouTube side. If you want to stay for a bit longer and hang out and play video games with me, jump over to Twitch. The link is in the description.
The stream is now paused for ads.
As soon as we enter ads. So yeah, link to my Twitch profile in the description if you want to hang out. But if you are on YouTube, the stream is going to end now, so I'll see you again on Wednesday. Okay, bye. Bye.